Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This time we are going to be talking about an Android device, a Samsung device. I'm of course talking about the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Today we are going to see how does the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge hold up in 2022. Now, the Galaxy S7 Edge is about 6 years old now, and as you can see, I have this device here with me in two colors, silver and gold, and even now in 2022, it looks amazing. The S7 Edge is one of the most beautiful designs Samsung has made in the past with the curved screens and the curved back. The S7 Edge was a successor to the S6 Edge. The S6 Edge, of course, brought the new curved design update to the Galaxy S series, which you can find even now in the newer Samsung designs. But I think even though the S6 Edge introduced this design, the S7 Edge solidified this design and took it to the next level. Now, on the front, we have a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display, which for a 2016 device is an incredible panel. It's 1440p with 534 pixels per inch. On the bottom, we have the micro USB port along with the speaker grills and the headphone jack, which is a throwback considering we no longer see this in the modern flagship devices now. It has a 32, 64 and 128GB model, but it also supports micro SD card slot, so if you want to expand storage, you have the option. Now, we do have a glass back that sort of curves in, which makes it super comfortable to hold. We have a single camera setup, you have the home button and the fingerprint sensor on the front. You do have IP68 dust and water resistance as well. Now, build quality wise, even now this phone feels like a premium phone. However, it does have those two bezels which make the design a little outdated. Now, personally, I don't mind the bezels. I think the Edge series design is one of the best designs Samsung has made. And even now, when we have punch hole designs and notch designs, this phone still holds up pretty well. Now, software-wise, this phone started at Android 6. However, we can update the software till Android 8 Oreo. Now, as much as Android 8 is decent, it did end on the Samsung's TouchWiz launcher. If it had gotten another year of software update, we would have gotten One UI. So, in terms of software, it's really outdated. You can go ahead and root this phone. I will highly recommend you to custom ROM this phone and flash a more recent version of Android. Trust me, it'll be a game changer. Now, performance wise, there are two different models. First one with the Samsung's own chipset, the Samsung Exynos 8-octa 8890, and the other one is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 chipset. It's got a quad-core CPU and an Adreno 530 GPU. Now, as I mentioned before, it has a 32, 64 and 128GB model with 4GB RAM. Performance is decent when it comes to using casual apps and media consumption, and it's fast, but it can be inconsistent at times. Now, the camera on this thing is surprisingly good, even now in 2022. It has a 12MP back camera and a 5MP wide-angle front camera. The camera setup does seem a little outdated in comparison to the phones we have now, which have multiple cameras with telephoto lenses, but despite that, you can get some decent results out of this thing. Now lastly, it has a 3600mAh battery. Obviously, with time the battery has degraded, but my gold version of the S7 Edge has a battery replacement, so its battery is as good as new. On the other side, the silver model still has the original battery, and even after 6 years, it holds up pretty well. So I did find myself frequently charging the silver version more often, while the gold version with the battery replacement barely needs to be charged once a day on a casual use. Now, if you guys are looking to pick this up, you might want to make sure that the battery health is okay or get the battery replaced as batteries degrade over time. On iOS devices, it's much easier since you can check the battery health, but I would suggest downloading like an app for Android users to check the battery health before buying this phone. So that's something to keep in mind. It does support fast charging and wireless charging, so that's neat. But will I recommend buying this phone in 2022? Well, if you currently own an S7 Edge and don't want to root it, then maybe you can still use it for a few more months. On the other hand, if you custom ROM this device, I believe you can still use it for a good couple of years. So if you are planning to custom ROM this device, then the S7 Edge is a good recommendation. If you don't want to custom ROM it, then I'd say get a S8 or a S8 Plus as it has One UI. I really don't see the point of getting an S7 Edge in 2022 if you're not planning to custom ROM it. If you already own one, then yes, you can keep using it for a bit, but I would suggest upgrading soon to something like in Galaxy S10. Maybe it made more sense to buy this phone a couple of years ago or maybe even last year, but I don't think it's worth it in 2022 without rooting the device. So that covers it up pretty much. If you guys have any other questions, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.